Hey guys, I already have an upgrade video in my channel where we did an upgrade for 4.0 I believe, but so this will be about 5.0, and I would not release this video just like I did not for 4.2 and 4.4 simply because the upgrade steps for those previous versions were basically all the same just like before, but in this case with 5.0 it's a little bit different, and it's different only because of requirements. First of all, requirements of the database versions are also upped, so if you could go to the Zabbix documentation, I will post the link just like usually in the description of the video, so you can see all the requirements where you can see MySQL 5.5 is the oldest one you can use, the Postgres 9.2, timescale DB 1.0, and so on. But the most important thing is the PHP. So starting with a Zabbix 5.0, the minimal supported PHP version is 7.2, and exactly this one is the only thing which is bringing some additional problems during the upgrade, and mostly because well, I am like Red Hat user. I use only CentOS. I don't like anything else, and I'm not so sure about other distributions, but if you're using a CentOS 7 or a Red Hat 7, there are even no PHP 7.2 in the official repository. That's why, like, if you would do the upgrade just like you are used to do it, you would fail because you would not be able to install or upgrade the new front-end package because the minimal supported version is a PHP 7.2, but you would have probably 5.6 if you downloaded it from the official repository. So the situation is very similar to the case when the Zabbix 3.0 was released with the new front-end, which also required a new PHP version, which was not available in the CentOS 6 at that time. So today we're going to do a simple task of an upgrade. I have Zabbix, I think 4.0. Sorry. There we go. So yeah, Zabbix 4.0.21, same applies for the front end. We can check rpm-qa, grep Zabbix, and there we go. We have an agent 4.0, server 4.0, and the front end 4.0. So we'll be doing upgrade to the 5.0 on the CentOS 7 machine, everything installed from the packages, and we'll be upgrading to the 5.0. And in the end, we will also talk about a couple of things that you might notice if you already did the upgrade, or if you'll be just doing that, then you will most likely notice them. So about one strange line after an upgrade in the log file of the server, and also the warning in the dashboard here that the tables does not met required character set of the database, which is mandatory for the Zabbix. So we'll talk about that too. And I actually have all the lines that we'll have to do here in the notepad, so you can just click pause here in this moment and yeah, basically just copy paste those somewhere so it will be easier for you to do the upgrade. Okay, let's get started. And first of all, we need to upgrade the repository, so we can take copy paste it from here, but I will be doing it like without any notes. So we need to go to the zabbix.com download section, 5.0, Red Hat Enterprise, 7, it is MySQL, and Apache. So this first line, so we are upgrading the repository of Zabbix. Previously we had 4.0, now we installed 5.0. Next is yum clean all. So if I would not do that, there is a highly possible that so previously I had a 4.0, then I added the new repo, then I could be typing just yum upgrade Zabbix server, and it would say that there's nothing to upgrade, still the latest version is installed, because there is just no cache for this repository. So we cleaned all the cache, and then what we're doing is upgrading Zabbix server MySQL, Zabbix web MySQL, and Zabbix agent. Like this. Which is taking some seconds simply because I have also the Postgres repository added from the previous video. Yeah, so by the way, if you're interested in the migration from the MySQL to the Postgres for the opportunity to use timescale DB, then just check the previous videos in my channel. Okay, done. So this is done. And the next what we need to install the CentOS release software collection. repository. So this is the repository where we will actually get that PHP 7.2. So there's no need to install any Apple repositories or download it from any third-party sources and have any pain with some required PHP models by the Zabbix. Just install the CentOS release SCL. Then we need to go in the etc repos D. Here we need to find CentOS, not the base, I think SCL, or no, Zabbix repo, right? Vim etc repos D zabbix.repo, and here we have a Zabbix frontend section in the repository, which by default is disabled. So enabled is 0, we need to change it to enabled is 1. By doing that, we'll have a possibility to install a new frontend for the 5.0. And that is also like important thing. When we are upgrading to the Zabbix 5.0, we are used to do yum upgrade on everything, but in this case with the front end, what we actually need to do, we need to delete old front end, which was a Zabbix Web 4.0 previously, and then we're going to be installing a new one, right? And that new one will pick up all the dependencies from our SCL repository and do the installation. So I'll add -yes. And as you can see, everything is coming. That's it, we installed everything. Then a new file for the editing where we have all our PHP parameters. Previously, if you remember, it was etc httpd conf d zabbix.conf. Now it is in the etc opt Red Hat PHP 7.2 PHP FPM. So since the Zabbix 5.0, Zabbix also uses PHP FPM, and there is zabbix.conf. And just like usually, the last line is the time zone with a PHP value date.timezone, and it's simply commented out. So for me, since I'm from Riga, I just need to uncomment this. For you guys watching from other places, you need to also change the PHP time zone, which fits your location. Right, and that's it. That's all we need. Next is what we're gonna do. Systemctl restart Zabbix server, so that will do the upgrade, and systemctl restart httpd, and should be good. So we can check the server log, var log Zabbix server log, using this line. Database is not upgraded to use double precision values. So a couple of times I already heard this question like, hey, we did the upgrade to the 5.0. As you can see, this worked out without any issues, but we see some strange line that database is not upgraded. So is it an issue? So it's not an issue at all. It is just a notification. It's not even a warning message, just informational. And you see this message because if you would go to documentation 5.0, introduction, what's new in the Zabbix 5.0, float 64, extended range of extended range of numeric float values. So numeric float data type now supports precision of approximately 15 digits in the range approximately this, with exception of the Postgres and earlier versions. This is by default for new installations, but for upgraded installations, just like it is for us, because we upgraded for the 4.0, we need to apply a manual patch. And the manual patch is enabling extended range of numeric float values here. Numeric float data type now supports precision. Same story. If you do not apply the patch, system information in the front end will display database history tables upgraded no in the front end. So we can also check the front end /Zabbix. Service unavailable. Probably don't have a PHP FPM started. So systemctl start PHP FPM. Why it's not working? Failed to start, unit not found. Service firewall D stop. Please try again. Yep. rpm-qa grep Zabbix, Apache. Everything should be fine. Let's check the zabbix.com download section. MySQL Apache, so install. So enable Zabbix server, Zabbix ancient. There we go. Red Hat PHP 7.2 PHP FPM. So systemctl start this one. Red Hat PHP 7.2 PHP FPM. Now let's check the front end again. And yeah, we see it's already loaded. Monitoring reports system information. So database history tables upgraded, no. This is the same stuff that we saw in the log file. var log zabbix server.log. Database is not upgraded to use double precision values. So if we want to get rid of this, if you do not apply the patch will alter the data. So we can find it in the database MySQL double SQL. So it will be in the sources. And to get it, zabbix.com, download section, 5.0 Zabbix sources, 5.0, copy link address, then go to the CLI, quit from here, cd, wget the sources of the 5.0, extract them, not the 4.0 but 5.0, then inside the Zabbix 5.0, cd database, cd MySQL, and where it is, database MySQL double SQL. It's not here. Find minus name double SQL. Yeah, so it's in the user share doc. You don't need to download the sources. So this step that I showed you here, we don't need it. This directory user share doc Zabbix server MySQL 501 is present here when we install the package Zabbix server MySQL, and here we have a create SQL JC that we're used to see, and also the double SQL. So if we want to apply it, then cat double SQL, pipe it to the MySQL minus u Zabbix minus p and the Zabbix database, as it is in my case. Enter the password, and we're done. So now we can systemctl restart Zabbix server. Check the log file again, and we don't have the message about the double precision. And if we would open the front end, we would not see any changes, just because we need to do a couple of additional things, which is also, by the way, documented in documentation. So what we need to do is go back to the CLI, and we already restarted the server, which is fine. By the way, yeah, I did it like on the fly with the server running, but normally if you're doing that in the production, you always need to stop the Zabbix server, and even better also the front end. That's also mentioned here in the documentation. So when that is done, we also need to edit the file in the etc Zabbix web zabbix.conf php, and this time not only change some file, but we actually need to add a new line, so which is documented. After upgrading database tables, please also set or update db double and the code 754 value true in UE, so user interface conf zabbix.conf.php, which is this file. So I will just paste it, equals, and in the ticks add true and semicolon. So now we can save it, systemctl restart httpd, and then we can check once again the front end, the system information, and you see that line is gone. So that's the way how you can get rid of this. But again, it's not mandatory. It's only required if you really need that Float64 support for, as example, integration with the Prometheus when you're receiving tons of the data from the node collectors. And it's not done automatically after an upgrade, simply because, like, if you would have 500 gigs, 1 terabyte database, it will take quite a lot of time because it is updating the history tables, especially if your hardware is not the best, if your disk's not the fastest ones, it will definitely take a lot of time. So plan in advance if you really need it. then schedule some kind of maintenance window where you'll have to stop the Zabbix server and do the upgrade to the Float 64. And another thing that you might see is I will try to do that. I already have the setup kind of prepared for that. Like when you do the installation, the clean installation of the Zabbix, if you do everything from the documentation, what you do is create database Zabbix, right? And then the most important part, character set UTF-8 collate UTF-8 underscore bin. So this part is mandatory with the Zabbix. And if you've done everything correctly, just like I have in my Zabbix database, you can type show create table on any table that you have, and in the bottom you will see engine InnoDB and a default char set UTF-8 and collation UTF-8 underscore bin. If all of your tables are with this collation, you will not see any error messages in the front end. But if you created database by simply typing create database Zabbix, just like I did with this Zabbix wrong, then what will happen is use Zabbix wrong and show create table items. Then you see engine ID default charset Latin 1. If you'll have it like this, you'll have a lot of warnings also here in the system status. The list of all the tables, default charset is not a UTF-8, which is a requirement of the Zabbix. And a little bit of the background, like what does UTF-8 actually do? UTF-8 makes the Zabbix database case sensitive. So right now I have just one host, and I can create a host test in Linux servers, and I also can create host test with an uppercase. Also Linux servers group, and remember the host name is the uniqueness criteria in the Zabbix. So since my database is case sensitive, I can do that. If I would have it with the wrong char set, not the UTF-8, I would not be able to do that. And the problem could not be that big, like if we have only one Zabbix server installation without any proxies and we have a wrong character set on the database, then the only problems would be that, yeah, apparently when we'll be creating some kind of items or the keys or whatever else, and just using uppercase and lowercase, we'll get the query failed, could not create we would get actually like this. So I'll try to create another test host. Yeah, whatever. So host with the same name test already exists. Yeah, but the problem is a lot bigger, like if you have a proxies, and especially if you have, let's say, a Zabbix server with correct collation UTF-8 underscore bin, but your Zabbix proxies are Latin 1, so maybe you have some hosts test lowercase and test uppercase on the Zabbix server, but your proxy database is not case sensitive, so when the Zabbix server will try to update the configuration on the proxy database, it will fail because the proxy cannot write inside a database these two hosts, just lowercase uppercase. So if you have one single Zabbix standalone server, it's not that critical, but if you plan to use the proxies in the future, it may and most likely will cause more serious problems. So how to fix it, like I won't be actually covering step by step in this video. I just show you the bug report, which is already registered here. We can open it, let's say here. So Zabbix 17357, which is unsupported char set or collation for the tables, warning displayed on the system information, and the steps how to do that are described like right in the bottom of this bug report. And by the way, like the one and only screenshot, so this is how the warning messages would be displayed in the front end, which is kind of annoying, and of course you want to fix it. So you need to follow the comments here right in the bottom, commented by this dude, Zabbix developer, so, and all the steps how to do that. Like, long story short, you need to run alter table on all of the Zabbix tables that you have, and by normal there will be around 150. By using this script, so it will be kind of automated. You won't have to run one command manually 150 times. Yeah, and after this, there won't be any errors in the front end about collation as well. But again, just like previously about a float 64, when you will be converting the tables, which are quite of heavy, this will of course take some time. So again, I would probably suggest to plan some maintenance window for doing that. All right, so yeah, that's about it. We did a quick upgrade to the 5.0. By the way, same applies if you're doing it from 4.0, 4.2, 4.4, even 3. Something. Steps are the same. Make sure that you fit all the requirements. Of course, I even did not mention do all the backups. Make a database dump and stuff like that. Then if you want to use a double precision or just get rid of that message in the log file, then apply the double.sql, which is in the user shared doc Zabbix server, MySQL 501. And if you have a wrong collation, which by the way is not a new thing in the 5.0, like that check for the collation was added in 4.4, I believe. But if you are upgrading from 4.0, then it might be a new thing for you. So I think that's it for this video. So thank you again for the watching, and yeah, see you in the next videos. Goodbye.